Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm going to give you a quick take on this Supercar Science Aston Martin based on what I know of it and what I'm thinking would be happening with this particular event. Alright, so reward-wise, the only thing that we're really looking for in this entire event is the prize car, which is the Race 69 reward of the Valkyrie. Now, I skipped both the McLaren and the Pagani Supercar Science because I was waiting for this car. I really like the way it looks. I like Aston Martin in that it's easy to get fusions, and therefore I've decided to pursue this particular car because most of these Supercar Science events you can't get through without paying. Now that brings us to the interesting discussion here about the lock-ins. First lock-in is very simple. Lots of options, and most of these are all milestone cars, so depending on how long you played, you should already have them. The one thing I do want to point out, based on a comment from Iclavia, who often talks to me about these events, is that this will be a PC car in the future. And he reminded me to kind of mention that because let's say if you're trying to get parts for the PC car, if you lock this in, you'll have crate for that car, so it should help you. Regardless, you'll have crates for all the Aston Martins fusions. It's just that any stage 6s that drop would be specific to the car that you locked in. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is, of course, the Vantage and the Vantage Roadster, they actually share stage 6s, so you can lock in either one. And if you already have the Vantage built like I do, you still want the parts for the Roadster for the future, you can just lock this in and it'll still do the same thing. Now, that's lock-in number one. That's the easiest one, and you may even get a free Vanquish or something to kind of get you started. That's been the trend with all these Supercar Sciences. The second lock-in is where the choices now are limited. And not only is it limited, it's limited to very specific cars. The 177s, it's good that they threw that in because that means at least for the second lock-in, I can have a different car, and I don't need to poll for anything yet. I also have the Vulcan AMR Pro. And finally, the Valhalla concept Gold Star can be gained from keys because it is marked as rare imports in the dealership. So this is a gold key car. Out of all the Aston Martins, the gold key pull of the Valhalla is well worth it. That's probably the best Aston Martin in this event that you can get. Even, in my opinion, better than the final Valkyrie car. It's a 7.0 car, not a 6.9. So it's a little bit slower, but prior to being fully built, there are two good reasons why this is a better car in many ways. One, it is a low performance point, high evo car that can easily help you get through this right here, this Showdown. If you pull the Valhalla early, what you can do is actually use it in the Showdown, and it does almost 8 seconds without stage 6s. That is faster than many of the other options here with stage 6s, and it is only slower fully maxed to the Valkyrie track pack, which you can't get yet, okay, unless you're special and you have special privileges through special people. Anyway, regardless, this for now is probably your best bet to get to 1200 quick and getting that Vulcan AMR Pro as the award. So my goal would be to pull the Valhalla, immediately build it to stage 5 and start running Showdown. I mean, not immediately. I don't want to spend the gold to rush it, but within a day you can get it to stage 5, put the fusions in, and it should help you get to the reward that everybody's going to be shooting for, 1200 Aston Martin Vulcan AMR. That's if you don't have it already. If you already have it, of course, it's irrelevant because you can continue with your Aston Martin event utilizing that as a lock-in. Assuming you locked in 177 and you have that car for number 2, the third lock-in would be the Vulcan AMR, or the Valhalla. I'll probably save the Valhalla for the fourth lock-in and use one of these guys for the third. Here is the big question mark. Okay, is natural motion going to count this car and this car as one lock-in choice? Here's the big important difference if that happens versus if it doesn't. lock-in number 4, we already said Valhalla. That means I have now used lock-in 2, 177, lock-in 3, Vulcan or Vulcan AMR Pro, lock-in 4, Valhalla. Lock-in 5 is the question mark in my mind, because if they allow me to use these two as two separate lock-ins, that means I literally don't have to buy a car to finish this event to the prize car. That is inconsistent with how Supercar Science works. We know that it's always been at least one car you gotta buy. Okay? The Pagani was the Imola. You couldn't get past to the prize car without the Imola, which is a paid car. Now, with the McLaren, it was that Roadster. Okay? And then I'm not sure about the ones before that. It's so long ago I don't remember. But here we also have a new car. Let's go to the dealership and we'll finish this video and discuss that particular possibility, because we know lock-in number 5 is the key to getting the prize car, and then there's lock-in number 6, which is the prize car. So let's go take a look at the cars. So in the Supercar Science section of the dealership, you see that we have 2 new cars added as soon as it loads. Okay, so there are 2 new cars, including a coming soon. Really? What is this? Did I click on the wrong one? No, I didn't. This is all Aston Martin. Okay. So what's going on here? Hang on one second. Oh, all right. So we have 2 new cars. Regardless of that, I'm not sure about that crate thing, but one of the new cars is this one. This is the V12 Speedster. Okay, this is new, introduced as part of this event. Notice test drive. That no other option means usually it's a purchasable car. This one is the prize car. We already know that. I'm not too worried about the track pack part. This is what we're shooting for. But where it becomes interesting for lock-in number 5 and where it worries me is if they don't let me use the AMR Pro and the regular Vulcan as 2 separate lock-ins, this will become a must purchase. And that's where the money bid comes in. It's no longer an event anybody can finish without buying a car. Hopefully that's not the case, but it could be the case. Meaning we'll know once the event's live. On the other hand, what I can tell from looking at this, Valhalla Concept Gold Star is definitely rear imports. That's generally a gold key situation. And then the question is, what color do I get? But at least there are plenty of nice colors and lots of options. And hopefully I'll get a color I actually want and not something I really would dislike. But we'll have to see. There's black and there's pearlescent. One major color that's missing here, which makes me kind of happy, is it really doesn't have a gray color. Haha. Okay, anyway. So Valhalla Concept, in the end, in my opinion, turns out to be actually the best car that you're going to get out of the Aston Martin Supercar Science event. So if I am not able to finish the event because the V12 Roadster got in my way and I'm one of those guys that just refuse to pay, then I will be content with just getting a hold of the Valhalla Concept. That took a while. Okay. So again, Valkyrie Track Pack is the goal. It is one of the coolest looking new Astons and one of the coolest looking Aston Martins, period. Much better than the homely looking Valhalla Concept. But in the end, the hurdle bit is whether we can get to the Valkyrie without having to buy the Roadster. Knowing what I know about the way these events work, my feeling is probably not. I would think Natural Motion would want us to at least pay for something so they can monetize this event. And the only way they can do that is by making it so you cannot lock in both the Vulcan AMR and the regular Vulcan. We'll find out again once the event's live whether that's the case. So that also means if I already have the Vulcan and instead of struggling to fight in the Showdown right away, I can actually just simply run through and see. Now in my case I have the AMR Pro already, so I'll know as soon as I get the event live and run through a portion of it whether I can do this without buying a car. But once again, this is a monetizing event, so I'm not holding my breath about that. My suspicion is lock-in number 5 is going to require you to pay for that new car, and all these choices will be locked out by that point. But if it doesn't turn out to be the case, I'll be a happy camper, because that means I can actually get the prize car without buying a car. We'll have to see. Difficulty-wise, I think consistent to most events like this, you'll need at least a few stage 6s, and preferably the good ones for each car. And you don't need all of them to get to the prize car, and the prize car won't need that many to get to the end. Where you're really going to want stage 6s for the Valhalla or for the ultimate prize car is really to get far in the Showdown, which after 1200, I mean, there's some nice rewards, I guess. That 50 is useful, that 100, that 75. Chances of all of us getting up to 3000 isn't going to be great. I find that most showdowns, people get kind of bogged down and stuck around 2300, 2400, even if you have really good upgraded cars. And really, out of all these cars, your top choice is really going to be either the Valkyrie or the Valhalla concept. So pulling that Valhalla concept is going to really pay dividends for this event one way or the other, and you end up with a really good live racing car that also doesn't really rely heavily on stage 6s to be very competitive. So that is my take on this Aston Martin Supercar Science event. I will be doing this event unlike the last two, and once I do the event, I will give further feedback based on my experience through the event. Again, good luck this coming season with this Supercar Science. I hope again that none of us have to quote buy a car to get through. If that's the case, of course, it'll be great for many of the older players, and we're all going to be very happy. In any case, feel free to comment if you know of specifics that I'm missing here or I forgot to mention. Feel free to add it to the comments for everybody's benefit. If you like the video, please leave a like, and if you like my channel, please subscribe so you can get notifications when I put up new videos. As always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.